State Senator Kevin De Leon placed second in the top two contests. That means the Democrats will face off on November 6th. California State Senator Kevin De Leon joins me now. State Senator, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Katie. I appreciate it.
Congratulations on your second place and for moving on. Why do you think that you can ultimately beat Senator Feinstein? As of now, she's raised 10 times more than you. What is your plan to take her on in what is obviously expensive media market central in California?
Well, Katie, first and foremost, welcome back home to California. And you are right. She outspent me on a 10-to-1 ratio during the primaries out here in California. But I do believe strongly it's time to have a debate on the values, on the issues, on the priorities, on the ideas that we care deeply about as Californians. I believe strongly that Californians now want a voice in Washington that will be on the front lines, not on the sidelines. I think that we can all agree that these are very difficult times in our nation's history. In fact, they're very dangerous times.
What do you mean by the
front
front lines and not the lines? What specifically are you talking about that you think Dianne Feinstein's not been aggressive enough on?
Well, on a whole variety of issues. One thing is that I don't believe any Democrat should ever say that we should plead or ask for patience with this president, and perhaps in the future he could become a good president. Now, those are her words, not my words specifically. And a whole variety of issues that we care deeply about as Californians, whether it's climate change, whether it's the environment, quite frankly, whether it's immigration reform. These are issues that are pressing in a state like California, but not just in California, but the entire country.
What about any room, though, for compromise? Are you saying that you want to go to the Senate to just stonewall this president? Because it seems like if you're not going to send him legislation that he's going to sign, we're going to be in a gridlock. Or if the Republicans maintain control and the Democrats continue to stonewall, a lot is not going to get done. I want to ask specifically, though, about DACA. Do you think that there's any compromise that the Democrats can make in order to get a deal for Dreamers?
Well, I think there's always room for compromise, Katie. We don't live in a world of absolutes, and we shouldn't be perched on a hill of sanctimonious ideology. I always believe that we can work constructively with folks on the other side. I have worked with folks in Republicans in California to land really transformative deals that really have moved this economy in California. But that's a little different in Washington, D.C., because it's become so polarized. And clearly, you should never allow yourself to be used as a prop for President Trump sitting in the White House, especially on really pressing issues such as gun control or the issue of DACA. I do believe strongly, Katie, that there is room for compromise. But as of today, that compromise has yet to be reached in Washington. Would
you sign off on border wall funding in order to get a deal for Dreamers?
That's a good question, because it's not a question of either or. That every nation has a right to protect its own sovereignty, including the United States of America, whether it's drones or better electronic surveillance on our border to the south with our friend, our neighbor, Mexico. I think that should be on the table. But to actually build a physical wall, to construct a wall when border crossings are, in fact, at our 50-year low makes absolutely no sense, both fiscally for our taxpayers, nor does it make sense politically for Californians or for Democrats. We shouldn't be blocked in to saying it's either or. You want DACA? Give me a border wall. That's a bad deal overall.
Well, that's what the president or the Republicans might be offering you, so that might be the only option you have. It's not black and white, obviously, but in talking about one other issue that's come up time and again, a lot of Democrats are running on this idea, or think that Democrats should be running on impeaching the president. Where do you stand on that?
Well, listen, I don't have the data or the evidence that certain members, perhaps on the Intelligence Committee in both the Senate as well as the House, have with regards to Donald Trump's dealings, either his business dealings or dealings with the Russians. I will say this, that what we've seen is unprecedented in modern political history. And Donald Trump, in comparison to Richard Nixon, he makes Richard Nixon look like a choir boy. So if Richard Nixon resigned because the break-in into the Watergate Hotel, there is plenty of evidence there that this president can be impeached. Obviously, that's a political question with the dominance of Republicans in both chambers, and makes it much more difficult. However, I do believe that Democrats should have a unifying voice and be strong with regards to what this president is doing to wreck this nation. In fact, that just doesn't impact Democrats. That impacts Republicans as well, too, throughout the country.
California State Senator Kevin De Leon. Kevin, congratulations on moving on.
Thank you, Katie. Have a wonderful day.